Hello everyone and welcome back to This Is Real Life. I'm your host Sheri, and on today's DIY Wednesday video, we are making the most viral thing ever on the planet. I mean, viral on TikTok, viral on Instagram, viral on Facebook, viral on YouTube, viral at your next door neighbors, viral everywhere. Okay, I don't know if it's really viral everywhere. It's in a lot of places, and I mean, I feel like today's, that generation, they put viral in front of everything, whether it's viral or not. So I figured might as well jump on board, and I'm gonna call today's DIY super fucking viral. What could it be? What could it be? I'll tell you right now. On today's DIY Wednesday video, we are going to make the small oval catch-all tray out of cement. I know, have you seen them? If you haven't seen them, I don't know where you've been because they're so viral. We're making them. They're everywhere. And the thing is this is not, oh my gosh, they go for millions of dollars. They don't. I mean, you could literally get them on Etsy for $8. And I'm not trying to put any small business owner on Etsy out of business. By all means, if you don't want to make these and you think they're cute, go on Etsy, support a small business, and purchase one for $8. They're not that expensive. But I think the first time I saw them, I was watching like a Laura Lee must-have haul or something. I don't know, but I know it was Laura Lee, and I don't know what the hell video it was. She got like a set, and I believe she got them off of Etsy, and I thought they were so darling. And I was like, I could make those. No matter how cheap they are, I could make them. And so I ran out to the Michaels to try to find my supplies, and I couldn't find exactly all of the supplies, but I did find one thing that is very important, and that is the cement. So let's go over the supplies that we need to have in order to make the oval catch-all cement tray. Okay, so first you need cement, and we have not worked. I have not worked with cement. I mean, I have. That's a big fat lie. I did help my friends David and Jeremy make some ginormous stepping stones and a bench. You don't want to get the cement that you would find at your local, Lowe's or Home Depot. You don't want that cement because that cement has little like rocks and gravels in it. So you want to get a cement that is super smooth. I purchased this smooth finish Craft Smart cement. It is in gray. It's a 10-pound box. I got it at the Michaels, and I believe it was $9.99. It's not terribly expensive for a 10-pound box of smooth finish cement, especially if you have a 50% off coupon at the Michaels, and those are always out there. So grab a box of this. Now, when I was at the Michaels, I was trying to find the exact perfect silicone mold for the oval tray. And they had different varieties of silicone molds. I just didn't like the shapes. I wanted the viral shape. This style on Etsy happens to be $17. I have seen other ones on Etsy for $8. I've also seen them at Pottery Barn for $20. The prices vary, but the shape that I was really looking for was a very straight-sided, the viral shape. So Michaels didn't have the viral shape. So what I had to do was go on the Amazons and get the exact ones. At the Amazon, they were pretty inexpensive. I want to say this came in a 2-pack, and I want to say it was $14 for 2. You want to make sure they are silicone molds, so they're going to be flexy, and I can link this in the description box below if you are interested in making your own viral trays. So this is what they look like here. When we pour the cement in, it's gonna fill in the groove here, and we're gonna level it with the top. When that dries and we peel away the silicone, what we're looking at here is actually gonna be the bottom of the tray. So when you dump it out, it's gonna be the perfect oval tray. And we're gonna make it ourselves. And we're gonna make all sorts of designs and styles and what have you. Now this DIY is gonna be super damn easy, and you can take it from very, very simple to very, very extravagant designs. By that, I mean you could add a bunch of shit to your cement, or you could add nothing. I had every one of these paints in my garage. These are just those little paints that you could get at any craft store, Michael's, Joann's, even probably the Dollar Tree. But I think at Michael's and Joann's, they're like 99 cents, where at the Dollar Tree, they would be $1.25 now. So Michael's and Joann's. I got these at the Michael's. These are more expensive. I think they were like $4 or something like that. But I use these for our custom artwork. Remember that video? I don't know how old these are, but I grabbed them all. I do have the glitter paints from the Dollar Tree. Then I have actual glitter. I have this ginormous like kids glitter that I think I got 80 million years ago when Davis was in elementary school. May or may not use that. I don't know if glitter's gonna be the look I'm going for, so I just grabbed a couple. But again, you could grab leaves from your backyard to lay in. You could do whatever you want. You're only limited by your imagination. It's gonna be easy. It's gonna be so easy. All we have to do is read the directions on the cement as far as how to mix it, and then pour it into our molds, add whatever accents we want, let it harden, pop it out, we're done. Super easy. So because it's so easy, let's get started. I do wanna try, you know how people are like over the fucking moon for, what is it, terrazzo specs? People are like, oh my God, terrazzo, I want a terrazzo countertop, I want that one. Great, it's super popular. Terrazzo is gonna make our trays even more viral, I'm just saying. I don't know if I made this up in my head or if I saw it. I wanna say it was on the Trixie Motel. You know, Trixie Motel bought a motel in Palm Springs, and she's doing a reality series about them renovating the motel. They took a bunch of paint, laid out some saran wrap. So this is what we're gonna do right this second, because we need our paint to dry in order to make our little terrazzo pieces that we're gonna mix into the cement. Now this may not work at all. This may look like total dog shit, but we're gonna try it. So we wanna lay out a piece of saran wrap, and then we wanna pick our paint colors for our little terrazzo flecks that are gonna get mixed into the cement. We wanna spread it out into a thin layer and then just let it dry. Once it's dry, we're gonna peel that paint layer off of our saran wrap, break it into little pieces, and that's gonna be our terrazzo, our faux terrazzo. So yeah, grab whatever paint colors you want, and we want to spread this out so that it's in a thin, even solid layer, because we want to be able to peel this off in like one fell swoosh and then break it apart. Now, these trays are little, so you don't need a whole bunch. Maybe pick like 3-4 colors and just do little blocks. I mean, again, this is one of those situations where it's like, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't work, who knows? But if it does, can you imagine? If these turn out, can you imagine the Christmas gifts and how inexpensive you're gonna get away with Christmas this coming up Christmas time? Custom made by you. We could sign the bottoms with a toothpick. I think it's gonna be great. So let me do this with my paint. Ooh, that's a pretty color. Set this off to the side, let them dry, and then we'll get into making, you know, our cement mixture. I have 5 colors all spread out on my saran wrap for my terrazzo. So I'm gonna move those over, slide them very delicately. Those are drying. Now we can get to our cement mixing. Then I also have some red Solo cups, empty ones to mix my cement in, and then I have a couple here filled with water. I didn't read the directions on this cement. I just assumed that I'm gonna need something to pour into and stir, and something else to hold some water. It says mix the cement and water using a 3-to-1 ratio by volume. The initial dry time is 30 minutes to 1 hour. Allow 24 to 48 hours to completely dry. Also guard against dampness, because if you get this wet, hardened cement, it's just a 1-pound block. I don't think it's gonna take a lot to fill these. Oh my gosh, 1 pound's kind of heavy. Here we are. So I'm gonna shake down so I can open this bag up. I have a plastic spoon. Did you know that the lines on the Solo cup do mean something? Like the first line is like a shot or something like that. Like the lines on a Solo cup are actual measurements. I know, crazy, right? But this isn't a actual Solo cup. It's a knockoff Solo cup. So I don't think these lines mean anything, but I don't know. Let's just see. I'm gonna do 3 heaping plastic spoons full to 1 heaping plastic spoonful of water. I mean, you can't really heap a teaspoon of water. I'm gonna just do 3 little guys and then we'll stir. We can always add more water. We can't take it away. You know what they say. This is where you could put paint in to color your cement. If you didn't want to color your cement and you wanted it gray, stir it up real nice and then pour into here. But if you wanted to tint your cement at all, you could use any one of your plethoras of paint, glitter, what have you. Now this looks like a nice pouring texture. What do people always say? Cake batter. I don't think it's as thick as cake batter, and to be quite honest, I don't think what I have in here is going to be enough to fill this. So I'm gonna do the same thing again and get a little more. I do have another one, so if we're more than we need, we've got a backup one. Okay, so I went a little crazy and I made almost a whole cup. So I'm gonna take another cup and I'm gonna pour off some because I don't wanna put glitter paint in this whole batch because I wanna do something different for that one. And I just want you to see like the pouring consistency. See, like that. I might thin it out just a little bit more after I add the paint because I'm not quite sure if the paint's gonna thicken it or thin it out. And I'm hoping half will go in here and half will go in that one. So first, let's do our silver glitter. And I wanna have it be glittery as shit. I'm squeezing a shit ton in here. Oh my gosh, that looks really good. Can you see it? Look how cute. I want it really sparkly. Oh, the paint did thin it out a lot. Look, I'm glad I didn't add too much water. Do I go for subtle or do I go for disco ball glam? And you know what we can also do? Sprinkle a little bit of glitter on our silicone mold before we pour our cement in so that we're guaranteed to have silver glitter like on the top of our tray. Ooh, you know what I'm gonna do? Again, your imagination is the only thing that's stopping you. I mean, really guys, up to this point in all of our DIY Wednesdays, every single thing we made has been money, so why would this be any different? Just go for it. This is, oh, look it. And I wanna make sure I have it on the edges as well, and then I'm gonna go like that. Oh yeah, lots of glitter came off. That's good. That's a good technique. You guys should do that but not that technique. Okay, everybody cross your fingers that I have enough cement in here to fill this silicone mold. I'm gonna do a nice even layer. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I feel like we're there. We just need to like make sure it's level and then we need to like lightly tap it so all the air bubbles come out. Oh my God, that was the perfect amount. You guys, how easy is this to pick up? Not easy. Once it's on the ground, you just need to leave it. So I'm glad I have individual pieces of paper so I could slide this away. I mean, it might be inevitable. We might get air bubbles, but if we can avoid it, we wanna try to avoid it. Okay, well, I'm gonna vibrate this, then we're gonna pull it to the side, and then we're gonna do our other one. Okay, so I have vibrated the shit out of this silver glitter one. Then I went and got some Q-tips and ran it along the little ridge ledge here because when I release the tray from the mold, I didn't want to have a little thin cement. And I might get that and we can just lightly sand it off, but I tried to clean it up around the edge with a Q-tip as best I could. And then I did have some air bubbles along the top that I just couldn't pop. So I did that, you know, trick where you get like 90% isopropyl alcohol, which I just happen to have, in a spray bottle and lightly mist the top to break the surface tension. I've never seen anybody do that with cement. I've seen like soap makers, candle makers, resin people. They all do it. So I thought, why the hell not? And it did pop all the bubbles on the top. So just lightly spritz the top and all those bubbles will go right away. So now that we know that, we can move on to our next one. This is where I wish I would have bought like 800 of these because I could keep doing this all damn day. Unfortunately, we have to wait for these 2 to dry before we can make any more. The dry time is probably going to depend on how thick or thin you make your cement. I wanna do the peeling paint terrazzo method in this one, but I don't know if my paint's quite dry. I mean, honestly, it's maybe been 10 minutes. Maybe I can blow dry that and then we can break it apart and that way I won't waste this cement that I have in this cup. I do wanna dye this cement. It's called Mississippi Mud. It's kind of a taupey brown. Let's make a different color other than gray cement and see what happens. I'm putting a lot of paint in there, dude. I might even mix this little light version to try to lighten this gray up a little bit. I also saw, I think was the one Laura Lee ordered from Etsy. It looked like the gal had made 2 different ones, like 2 of these. They were different colors. It looked like she broke them in half and then like re-put them together somehow. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I kind of feel like maybe. Ooh, this color is looking kind of like a nice taupey brown. I think that will go nicely with our little terrazzo pieces. Kind of still looks cementy gray, but it's not. I might go get a blow dryer and blow dry our paint pieces before this cement hardens so that we can mix our terrazzo pieces in and pour this one. Oh yeah, I'm really happy with the coloring of this cement. I like it. Okay, blow dry that. Peel them off. We'll break them up and then we'll pour this tray. As I was blow drying, I noticed I did those way too thick. They weren't drying at all. And I was like, I need to get this going. So I did 2 more little thin layers on another saran wrap over here. The whole time I was blow drying, I was like, this better fucking work, man. So let's see if my plan works. Was saran wrap the right thing to use? Did I just waste my time? No, I know this works. Okay, it's not peeling off. It's almost like you need it thicker so that it peels off. Because guess what? It's not fucking peeling off, guys. Okay, we have a little bit. We have a little bit. The black is kind of coming off. I got a tiny little piece of black. Now we're supposed to, I say we're supposed to, like, I feel like I've seen it. But then also, maybe I made it up in my head. Maybe our paint needs to be thick and we need to let it dry for like years and years. Maybe it does need to be thicker, Sheri. Think. What other than saran wrap? Wax paper? Maybe wax paper. I really want to try this fake terrazzo stuff. I'm just worried they're so thin that when I try to stir them into the cement, they'll just like not show up. Should it be wax paper maybe? Like I can't peel this off at all. Okay, this one's a little bit thicker. It's kind of still wet a little bit underneath. Maybe if we just let this kind of dry like that before we rip it apart, maybe? I don't know, I'm guessing. It's trial and error. As per usual, flying by the seat of my pants. I do think our paint needs to be thicker. I just feel like those are too thin. Yeah, I can't peel it off. And maybe we need to let it dry overnight, which means I better do something with that cement. I do want to make a terrazzo one. I just gotta figure it out. The more I sit around and fuck with this fake terrazzo stuff, the longer that cement's just gonna harden. That was a bust. Let me go get wax paper and let's try to maybe make our paint a little thicker, but I gotta be a way. Okay, I gotta think. I'm gonna go get some wax paper and then we're gonna squirt bigger ones and then we're just gonna hope to shit this doesn't dry. Okay, so I didn't have wax paper. I just had parchment paper, but I don't know if it's gonna peel off the parchment paper. I'm gonna put this over there. I'm almost wondering if I should do another saran wrap one with thicker paint as well. Whoops, with thicker paint on it as well, because I do know that it does peel off of the saran wrap. And so I'm gonna set up 2. We're gonna have terrazzo for days if this works. I'm gonna do the saran wrap again, but with thicker paint as more of like a fail-safe. Hopefully this works. Between all this, we've gotta be able to get some terrazzo. They're not super thin, not super thick. We've got terrazzo. Faux, terrazzo, should we call it terrazzo? My work area is getting a little crowded. Dryer, oh shit balls. I just got a bunch of burgundy paint on my floor. Great. Ugh, my saran wrap's wrinkling. So, because I don't want this to dry out, although I love the color this turned out for my terrazzo, what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little like tie-dye-y swirl situation. It's kind of thick. I should probably add just a titch more water to loosen that up just a little bit. Oh, that's much better indeed. So what I wanna do is a little thin layer, and then I wanna squirt some paint in here. Then I have a toothpick that I wanna swirl the thin layer. Then I wanna do another layer and put some more paint in there because I wanna make sure, you know, when we flip it over, I want you to be able to see the swirls from the top of the tray, not just from the underneath of the tray. Where's all my paint? I'm gonna do a squirt of brown, or black, a squirt of this orange. Oh, a little big squirt. I'm just going for it. We might hate this, but we also might love it. I don't want to do it so much that it becomes muddy. You know what I probably should have done? This looks cool though, dude. I'm thinking that we may not be able to see the paint underneath. Like maybe I need to rinse this out again outside. We do a paint swirl right on the silicone mold and then do cement. So I'm gonna do round 2 of this. Don't rinse cement out in your sink. Go outside to the hose over some dirt. Don't rinse cement in your sink. That's a plumber's dream come true. I just know this is not gonna have the effect that we want it to have once we pop this out of the mold. So again, let's just do some drips and drops and gloops and then swirl that around with our toothpick. Oh, careful, Joe, that's wet paint. Walk around, good boy. Last thing I need is cat paws in wet paint all over my house. I think we need to maybe thin it out with some water. This might be a bad idea. That's probably too much. Oh no, that's a bad idea, Sheri. Now we're just muddy again. Okay, take 3. I'm gonna be a little bit more strategic in my placement. This is gonna work, you guys, this is gonna work. Oop, that didn't make it into the silicone mold at all. Now let's swirl this and see what happens. Oh yeah, I'm saying oh yeah. I don't know if it looks that great. Okay, I'm going with that. I think that looks kind of cool. Maybe not, but kind of. Let's get our cement layer in there. Don't disturb what's underneath. Now I want to do a couple paint drips in there and then do another layer and a couple paint drips. Don't scratch too deep. Don't swirl too much. I'm just saying these things to remind myself. That actually looks really cool. I wish that was on the bottom. I don't think I have enough cement to top this off, but let's try. I'm gonna have to mix a little bit more. And it's gonna be cement colored, but that's okay. This is the bottom. Stir gently. Let's see if I can like shake it, level it down, flatten it out, get those fork marks out of there. And now we just sit here and wait. If the real top, which is the bottom right now, looks anything like this, I will be completely happy. For funsies, our first one, it's probably been a good 30 minutes and this is still super fly wet, so wet. So yeah, 30 minutes to an hour, I don't think it's gonna happen. I think these are gonna have to sit here overnight and tomorrow we can unmold them and then quite possibly see if my faux terrazzo plan is gonna work and then maybe we can make 2 more in the morning. Once we unmold these, I think we're gonna be in love and I think that this DIY is all that we're ever gonna wanna do ever in our lives every single day. Gifts for everybody. If they turn out, but I don't see why they wouldn't. We won't know for sure until tomorrow morning. Okay, we are back. It is the next day and look, they're hardened. However, this one for some reason, when I touch it, it feels hard, but when I stab it with my fingernail, it's leaving fingernail marks. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's, did I put too much paint in the cement mix? Feels a little soft still. Now this one, I put a ton, oh, fingernail marks in this one as well. Yeah, I don't know, let's unmold them and see what the shit, man. Okay, let's do the sparkly one. Everybody cross your fingers. Hopefully this comes off. Let's be nice about it. Okay, okay. So it has been in here curing for the last 12 hours. According to the box, it should be pretty damn dry, but I'm also certain the box wasn't like, oh, she's gonna fill it with a button. It broke. Oh no, look. Ah! Can we cement glue it together? We put another layer of cement. This is stuck on this side for some reason. Oh no. My viral oval tray. It feels real soft. I think the paint situation on the inside took away some of the cement's like resilience, but honestly, that looks pretty nice if it would have held together. But remember how I was like, I want to make one that's like half of something and half of something else? This could be one half. I'll just place it in here. Then we'll pour another cement area, maybe not mix it with so heavy with some paint. Can you see the sparkles in there? Oh, such a bummer. Now I'm really worried about this one because this one has a shit ton of paint in it. And maybe paint isn't the way to go to dye your cement. This one has definite cracking along this edge here. Please don't break in half. Look at the top through the silicone. Oh my God, don't break in half. Do not break in half. Don't break in half, little guy. Just don't do it. Don't even think it. I think it broke. I think I felt it break. Oh, son of a bitch. Yeah, the whole... I'm not crying. All right, let's just do it. Let's just peel off the fucking Band-Aid, man. Hey, dummy, it could be all the paint stuck to the mold, and that's what's not making it release. Oh my God, a Magnum. Oh yeah. Oh my God. The paint's not peeling away from the mold. It's just a shit show. It's a really, really bad shit show. It's so like, oh, it's so soft and crumbly. Okay, so some might look at this and say, total fucking fail. Others might look at it and say, what did we learn here today? Well, what we learned was a shit ton of paint and cement do not go well together. I am showing you this so that you know what not to do. This is a prime example of what not to do when making your super viral oval catch-all trays. Really, the whole first part of this video, don't do any of it. Don't do any of it. None of it. The only thing I would say that you could possibly do is put glitter in the bottom of your mold and then pour cement directly over the top of that glitter. Everything else, don't fucking do it. So it's a new day and I really want to do the terrazzo test. And I'm not going to say like, I'm glad this one broke. You know I wanted to do a half and half one. I don't necessarily know if I should do a half and half one with this. I know I can snap it. I don't even need to try to snap it. Well, you know what the thing is you could act like a real strong man and be like, see this? It's total cement. See my muscles? Ugh. And then people will be like, oh. Okay, so this is the parchment paper version. Now overnight, the saran wrap version curled up on itself, and so it does peel off rather nicely. So plus, if we get scissors and cut, then the edges will be sharp. I was worried that it wouldn't come off with the parchment paper, but it does. So I'm gonna peel these off, pile them up, cut them into tiny little pieces, mix a batch of straight cement. I know there are powders that you can buy that are specially formulated to dye cement, and I also believe there are other colors of cement out there. However, the Michaels I went to just had the gray, so that's what we're working with. Except for the bad thing about like the terrazzo I've seen in my life, it's not like cement colored. It's normally like, you know, a color like beige-ishy, or I've even seen like mint greeny ones. I just hope that my little terrazzo pieces show up in the gray color of the cement. That's, I guess, what my main worry is. So let me get these all peeled off. I'll cut them into pieces. I'll mix up some new cement. I'll clean out my molds, and then we'll pour a terrazzo one. And then I really do want to pour a half and half one. We'll see. Let me peel these. Okay, really quickly, what I did notice, peeling the saran wrap ones, the side that was touching the saran wrap is very, very glossy. And on the parchment paper, both sides are matte. I think I prefer matte all around. It's not to say that I'm not gonna cut up the glossy ones as well, because I will. But just so you know, that's what's gonna happen if you use saran wrap, and this is what's gonna happen if you use parchment paper. So I have rinsed out my silicone molds. Guess what? The one that we put the silver glitter in the bottom, yeah, it's still at the bottom. It won't come out. I washed it with soap. I washed it with everything. Hopefully it doesn't transfer on to our next piece, but if it does, oh well. But the glitter has like embedded itself into the silicone. Who knew that would happen? This one took a little bit longer just because there was dried paint on it. But other than that, this one cleaned up pretty well. So we're ready to use those. I've also cut up my paint pieces into my little faux terrazzos. And when I was sitting here cutting them up, I was like, what's your plan? How are you gonna fuck this one up? I think my plan is to do like a thin sprinkling of the terrazzo, kind of like how we did the glitter. Thin layer of terrazzo, thin layer of cement. thin layer of faux terrazzo, thin layer of cement. And then for this other one, I really want to try to do a half and half, but I just don't think that this will ever like solidify all the way. I do really love the glitter in this, so maybe we do a glitter 2.0 and just do straight cement. Don't try to dye our cement with the paint. The glitter in that is, I want to do another one. I'm doing another one in glitter. Also, difference from yesterday, because yesterday, not awesome. So, you know how I was like, I'll just eyeball my mixture. No, I'm gonna measure it like how they said. It's gonna still be kind of an eyeball measurement, but I got 2 Tupperware tiny containers, and I figure if I do 1.5, that will be my 3 parts, and then a half of the water will be my 1 part. So we'll have our 3-to-1 ratio based on this as a measuring cup. So let's do it. Let's prepare our molds, because I think we're gonna be mixing a lot of cement. So I'm gonna go just straight up silver glitter. Even though there's still glitter in this one, I don't think it's gonna come off. So let's do our glitter, get it fully coated, tamp that off. I'm pretty happy with that. Now let's prepare this guy with our faux terrazzo. A little bit of sprinkles. I need to make sure I get it into the edges. I don't want a shit ton, just enough of a ton. Ooh, I think that looks really nicely dispersed there. I'm digging that for the terrazzo. That looks really nice. Let's measure out and mix our cement. Straight cement, no paint. So I have my mixing cup and my spoon, and I'm going to do 1.5 of cement and then a half of just water, and we'll see where that gets us. Not exact measurements, but a little better measurements than we did yesterday. Let's do a halfer. I have pretty high hopes for this round, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. Making sure I'm getting all of my little cement powder off of the bottom of the cup. So far, I think the consistency is pretty good. Kind of gloopy, kind of not gloopy. That's a really good consistency, in my opinion. All right, let's pour her in. Let's do glitter first. It's like almost enough, but not enough. I liked that 3-to-1 situation. So I'm mixing up my second batch of cement to top that one off and then maybe start our first layer of our terrazzo one. But as I was sitting here thinking, I was like, you know what? I know I have seen a couple YouTube people that have worked with cement and have dyed it with paint. I know I didn't make that up, but see, here's the situation. They didn't show me what happened to them in real life. They didn't really say measurement wise. It just looked like they put some paint into their cement, mixed it up, and then lo and behold, everything was fine. That's what's really bugging me right now. It's like, I know I didn't just think in my head, oh, let's dye the paint with cement. I saw it on several YouTube videos. I don't want to call anybody out right now, but all I'm saying is it would be nice if you showed your fuck ups, or you told me like only use a little dab of paint, or this is actually a special paint. It's not just, you know, but I swear it was shit like this. Could have been latex paint from their leftover walls. I know I'm not making that up. If I appreciate anything about the This Is Real Life channel, is that I am not afraid to show you the fuck ups. I've always said from the beginning of time, like, you know, when John and I were talking about how the videos would go, and he'd be like, ooh, do you want me to edit that out? I'm like, no, leave it in. I think it's important that people see that, you know, nothing is perfect the first time. And when you're thinking of something that you want to DIY and you're making it up in your head, you know how I always say, like, in my head, it's gonna work out perfectly. Well, it doesn't. And if I were to cut out all of the mistakes, how would you all know what not to do? Or if you followed me exactly to the T that I am doing and I cut out the mistakes, you would never know that like a shit ton of paint is too much paint to put in cement because it's not gonna hold together. There's part of me that feels like some of the DIY people out there, this would have happened to them, but they would have never shown it. They would have just made a duplicate version of this with probably less paint in it and then popped it out of the mold and went like, voila. And that would have been that. And they would have made you think that they did it perfect the first time, which is so not true. For my DIYs, I'm gonna show you the mess ups. I mean, it's not really that embarrassing to me. I wish it would have worked out the first time the right way, but you know what? It didn't. And so I'm doing it again. Not to mention the fact, we want to make more of these trays, don't we? They're going to be cute. Point of the story is, don't let the fear of messing up and something not turning out make you not try a DIY. Because in the end, it's gonna turn out perfectly. Yeah, you might have a couple mess ups along the way, but learning experiences. Am I right? Okay, so I'm good and mixed. I feel like it's a lot thicker. I think it's a little bit thicker than that batch there. And now I just might have put in way too much water. Yeah, now it's super runny. Jesus. All right, let's get a spoonful of this. Yeah, look, much better. Yeah, so I would say this consistency is a little bit more cake battery than what we were working with yesterday. Yesterday was a little bit more runny, definitely a little bit more watery. That looks real good. I'm gonna do little like slight drops. And with this thicker consistency, this is much easier to do. Jiggle it just a little bit. I wanna see you jiggle it. Anyone? Just trying to pop those air bubbles that are on top. Now, I also feel confident that this one might dry much quicker than the other ones. Maybe that 30 minutes to an hour on the directions will hold true with this one. I wanna take some glitter and put it on the bottom. I just do. Whoa, whoa, whoops. It's very glittery on the bottom. It's very, very glittery on the bottom. Oh well, it's cute. I'm not touching it. We're gonna leave it right here. We're gonna let it do its thing. Then let's do this one. I really am really happy with that little terrazzo pattern we made. I wanna do a thin layer, a little sprinkling more. I know it's on the inside. No one's gonna be able to see it, but if, you know, from the side, if something peeks through, I don't want it to just look like terrazzo on the top and then no terrazzo within the cement. Trying not to disturb my terrazzo pieces that I strategically laid out. Gently, gently. Let's do another little bit of terrazzo. Basically, we can just focus on like the edges that might be seen. Trying to get some like to be on the side and then also to make it look like it's natural and not like someone just spaced out fake terrazzo pieces all around the outer edge. Just for funsies, I'm gonna sprinkle some more in the middle, even though I literally just said we don't really need to. Okay, so that's layer number 2. Let me mix up our last batch of cement. We'll put another layer of the cement, put a couple little more sprinkles of terrazzo on the bottom, so in case someone flips it over, it looks like terrazzo through and through. Let's pour this in here, smooth it on out. I might have a little bit too much. I think my floors are not level because it looks low on this end and now I'm like, oh, but it's so high on that end. Now I do want to sprinkle a couple more little pieces of our faux terrazzo along the bottom. I think that's fine. It's the bottom. Whoosh, whoosh. 2 more trays done, and I feel confident that these ones are not going to turn out like these ones. So I'm gonna let them dry for a while. We'll unmold them and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, it's been a couple of days since we did our last pour. And I was going to demold these the very next day, but Davis talked me out of it. He said that they still looked wet to him, and he was right. The color has changed significantly. They're super duper duper hard. So I am gonna say that I didn't mess this up. I think that the box is incorrect, because let's just take a look at our sparkly one that we mixed with the sparkle paint that has now been drying for, gosh, 5-6 days now. It's totally firm. Listen, can you hear it? Totally hard, totally solid, totally dry. Had I waited a couple of days to take this one and my other paint one out of the mold, I bet you, maybe not the paint one. Okay, it was pretty loaded with paint. But this one for sure, I bet you it wouldn't have broken in half. I bet you it wouldn't. I mean, listen to that. That's me tapping it on the floor. Seriously, I blame the box. So, now that I feel secure about these, let's demold them and see what they look like. I'm very excited to see the terrazzo one. We kind of know what the glitter one is going to look like because we made one right here. It's broken. So let's undo this first. So I'm gonna peel the sides away very gently. Should I set it down? I should set it down. very carefully and very gently. Now, keep in mind, these two are straight cement. I didn't combine paint or any other things into my cement mixture. So if this doesn't release or if this breaks, something's wrong and I'm gonna be pissed. It seems to be very, very, very stuck. I'm trying to be gentle, but also I have to be firm because I can't get it unstuck. Come on. I think we have it, and I don't think it broke. We did it. We made a cement oval catch-all tray. Oh, and it is cute. Now, the edges on the top are a little bit rough, but nothing a light sanding can't take care of. And this box says this box is interesting the way the directions read. Typically, you would want to seal your cement project so that, it doesn't absorb water, whatnot. On this box, it says no sealant needed. However, on the back of the box, instruction number 4 says, once the project is completely dry, you may use sealer or paint to decorate. I'm confused, Craft Smart Cement. So my instinct, my gut, tells me that I do want to seal this up with just a clear spray. I want to sand up the edges really, really nice so they're smooth because they are a little jagged right here. We do have some air bubbles throughout, but actually I don't really mind them. I think it looks kind of cool, especially since this is cement. The little bubbles and cracks and crevices lend to it being cement, and I like it. Now, I am noticing as I move this around more and more, the mound of glitter that I sprinkled on the back is just really coming off. I'm gonna have glitter all over my damn house. I kind of knew that would happen because I went a little crazy with the glitter. So I feel like I'll just brush off whatever brushes off, and then whatever sticks. It is giving me a lot of different variations, which I think make it look pretty cool. See where it's smooth without air bubbles and then smooth with air bubbles? I think it looks pretty neat. I am pleasantly surprised with this one. Now let's check our terrazzo, our faux razzo, if you will. Very gently peel away the sides. I mean, if the inside turns out anything like the top or bottom, I will be very happy. Oh, a little chunky chunk where there was a faux paint, faux terrazzo chip on the side kind of came off, but I think that'll be fine. See if I have any issues demolding this one. Yeah, it's stuck, so I'm gonna have to be firm yet gentle. Here it comes. Gosh, I'm so nervous for this one. Oh, you can't see my faux terrazzo at all. Not at all. It just kind of the cement took it over and it's gone. That's a bummer. I wonder why. What did I do so wrong? I don't think I did anything wrong. However, the smoothness of this one is very nice, but I don't like that you can't see the faux terrazzo through it. So yeah, this technique was kind of a bust. I wish it would have turned out a little better. But you know what did turn out? Sparkly glitter. And really, in the end, that's all that matters, right? So we have finessed our techniques, and now we know what not to do. I know you guys are gonna think I'm crazy, but remember how I was like, ooh, I kind of want to do one where it looks like it's broken in half. I'm kind of thinking, since I already have ones that are broken in half, I want to put this half back in this mold and this half back in this mold. And then I want to mix up more cement, just plain, no frills, no nothing, and pour cement in this open side of each one so that they fuse together. And then when I unmold them, I'll have one that's half glittery and half not glittery. I know. I think I'm gonna do it because you know why? This is the video that never ends. It goes on and on, my friends. And I know you guys wanna see what a half and half one looks like. I just know it. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pour in the half and half and I'm gonna let them sit for a couple of days so that I can make sure they're super firm, super dry, and ready to demold. And when that happens, you'll all see it. It'll be the final reveal. Okay, it's been even a couple more days, and out of the 6 cement oval catch-all trinket trays that we made, we were able to save 3. I know, But the 3 we got, they're amazing. I mean, look at them. They've fully dried. I have sprayed a clear coat, just a spray can of clear Rust-Oleum spray paint to seal each of them. They're fully dry, and I gotta say, I kinda like them. You can use these trays for a myriad of things next to your kitchen sink, for your soap and maybe to put your rings in if you're, doing the dishes, in your bathroom for all your luxurious skincare, on your nightstand for all of your nighttime needs, chapstick, hand lotion, what have you. They're amazing, don't you think? So while this video was a huge learning experience, and for the most part we learned what not to do when making our super viral oval cement trays, we also learned what to do. And in the end, I couldn't ask for a better result. So yeah, make these. They're super fun. They'll go smoothly, I promise, especially after watching this entire video and doing everything opposite from what I did. You'll be a success. So that's it. Another DIY Wednesday video done and dusted. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Be sure to ring that notification bell so that you are alerted to all of the DIY Wednesday videos I push out. Make sure you share this video with your family and friends. And as always, thanks for hanging out.